Hello and welcome to Dr. Greg and Monica's Lifestyle Solutions on Nutrition. And today we're going to focus on following a healthy nutrition plan.
Good, solid, basic, fundamental, and as in bones, which are really fundamental, yes.
So let me tell you first off, your grandmother was right about nutrition. What do I mean about that? Cut down on starches, wheat, and corn. Be mindful of foods with gluten. We'll tell you a little bit about why on that. Protein is really your friend. Eggs, fish, chicken, meat. So make it lean. Let's talk a little bit about being mindful with the starches and with the gluten. You know, all those carbs, they turn to sugar. So you have to be really careful as to which ones you are choosing. And we do have a couple of other videos dealing specifically with sugar as well as with those starches. So we won't get too much into that. You've talked about
glycemic
inflammation.
Index, how to choose them, the bad effects of all of that. For other videos, just know that choose them wisely, you'll do well. If not, you will hurt, have a heck of a time with weight issues, and probably have brain fog and sugar crashes too.
And the reason for being mindful with some of those foods with gluten, number one, because obviously they have quite a bit of carbs in them, but number two, that there has been research that's out that you've talked about in the past, how gluten can increase inflammation. So that's something to be really, really careful about. Protein being your friend, yes, the eggs are good, the fish is good, the chicken, the meats, and try to make it lean. Obviously, your chicken breast will be leaner than your dark meat. Try to choose cuts of meat, you know, when you're having burgers, that 93% ground beef that is lean, your London broil, your, what's another one that is quite lean too? I'll think about it.
Or turkey meat. But the other part too,
well.
there's a couple of things. Part of it, you want the best kinds of fat, but a lot of it's the defense. A lot of antibiotics, well, just call it toxins. Let's just call it that instead. Toxins lodge in animal fat in particular. So you've got a defense against toxicity, called hormone disruptors, xenoestrogens, a lot of stuff that will screw you up on the inside. A lot of that you're well defended if you just eat the leaner cuts. Don't eat much of the fat.
Another thing, go from eating maybe one huge meal a day or 2 meals a day to eating 4 to 5 smaller meals a day. And the basics behind that is because it allows your metabolism to work consistently throughout the day, as opposed to all of a sudden you feed it this all-you-can-eat buffet and it's going, ugh! And it is really, really struggling. And when your metabolism, well, all your functions are into trying to metabolize those foods, that's when it can't deal with all the other things that are going on in your body as well, because it's all gearing to that. So by having 4 or 5 smaller meals a day, you will be able to have a consistent metabolism throughout that day. Now, by doing that, that doesn't mean have 4 or 5 meals and then go ahead and have a bunch of snacks. Don't have snacks in between your meals. That's a huge, huge portion of, especially if you want to lose weight or if you want to eat healthily, feel that energy, you want to have those specific meals throughout the day. Another thing, hydrate. So important to hydrate. Have that, for some people they can't have maybe a gallon of water a day, but make sure that you have at least those 8 glasses of water per day.
Doesn't that sound, to the average person, most of us, really, that's what I mean by average person, is that a gallon, it sounds like a huge amount. It sounds like a tremendous amount. I could never drink that much. Actually, you can. You have to kind of get used to it a little bit. But a trick is drink until your urine is clear. Sometimes supplements, that's another issue. But it's like that. And if you want really good skin, drink your water. Omega oils, have that as a supplement, but water, that makes some of the smoothest, finest skin that no cream and no moisturizer can begin to touch.
Great point there about omega oils, because the next thing I want to talk about is fats. Can I eat the fat? Well, you know what? Yes, you can. Now, there are good fats versus bad fats. So you've got to pretty much figure out which ones those are. Stay away, stay clear from any of the hydrogenated oils that are in all of the processed foods. Now, you can say yes to butter. You can say yes to almonds, to avocados, to the salmon. Those are very important. And for example, you know, how does fat affect hormones? What are some of the benefits, but also what might be some of the dangers?
Fat actually makes hormones, because if you've got no fat at all, your nerve sheaths part of what makes our electrical system work are kind of like encased in fat. And if something is disrupted in that, the nerves kind of go bzzz, sort of short circuit and don't work. Hormones, they call it man a fat backbone, meaning you've got little molecules of fat, stick a few proteins in different combinations, et cetera, and you've got testosterone and estrogen and cortisol and a bunch of other things. But if you've got not enough fat, something's going to suffer. You may be a hormone deficient in something. If you have bad quality of fats, you'll have a bad quality hormone. And then it's time for all kinds of things to go haywire. So some of the dangers actually are that if you have insufficient or bad ones, a lot of it will affect either nerve health, which means brain health, or neuropathy, which we're hearing more about all the time, which is weird tingling pins and needles that no one can explain, in the feet, though a lot of it's dietary in relationship too. Thinking can be more clear, so you'll suffer in the thinking, and almost guaranteed you'll hurt more and have unwanted weight gain typically as well.
So butter, butter, butter instead of margarine. Leave the margarine alone. That's not good. That's part of those hydrogenated oils, and please do go ahead and have the butter. Now, do I need to supplement
Yes.
my food intake is
Yes.
what, didn't even let me get through the question already. Yes, you do need to supplement, and supplements don't necessarily mean going to the gym health food store to get a bunch of, pre, post. No. We're talking about supplementing
See,
the
it
foods
doesn't
that
mean
you eat.
replacement. It's not replacement. Why supplement? In a nutshell, it's really because part of it, if we had perfect organic food come from perfect original soil in a wide variety, 100% natural, there'd be no need whatsoever to supplement anything. But we don't have that. Even at the best of times, if we have organic, it still can be nutrition deficient. So we have to put in what we're missing. Then though, if you've got special stresses, special efforts, that type of thing, or possibly a condition, don't get out much, you need different supplementation as well.
So basically, as you were saying, it's so important to supplement with a mineral because we don't have the minerals in the soil anymore. So the foods that we are eating are very, very different than the ones our grandparents
Let me make
had.
that obvious about something. If the minerals are not in the soil, what do minerals do? They help vitamins work, basically. They help, they're called cofactors. They help our metabolism take place. One called chromium works with blood sugar, one called zinc for testosterone. Don't have either of those, you're more likely to be diabetic and have no testosterone.
And
But
mess up your hormones as
that's
well.
what I'm getting at, absolutely. If they're not in the soil, they're not in the plants. So even if you eat correct vegetables, you're missing them because the plants don't absorb them. All right, say you don't eat plants at all. Say you're a beef eater. Well, what do cows eat? They eat the plants or eat the corn or eat whatever they free range. But if it's not in the soil, it's not in the plant, which means it's not in the cow, which means it's not in you.
Another thing this predisposes you to is, diabetes, early menopause, and now you're seeing so much of the low testosterone in both men and women. So this all has to do with not having the right minerals that we need. Chromium is another one that's very, very important. Zinc for testosterone, another one that it's extremely important. I know that you talk a lot about turmeric as an anti-inflammatory, which I know you've said before is even better than hydrocodone at times for certain chronic pain.
Long term. Mm-hmm.
And it's also against colon cancer. It also helps with the circulatory system. Another one, talk about when we're talking about supplementation. Boost your omega oils, your 3, 6, and 9s. Very important, including some borage and flax.
Yes.
Protein shakes, I'm not necessarily that keen. I always say eat your protein, but if you can't eat it, drink it. That's okay. I'd rather you eat it, but if you need to. And a multivitamin is extremely important. D3 for depression.
Absolutely.
B5 for stress.
Yes.
Vitamin C for everything. And finally, get a detox. I know we've talked about a lot. We could break each one of these down. Let me hear your questions, and we will go ahead and address them.
Yes, we will.
So we'll see you next time. Take care.